What we're here to talk about from an AMD FirePro standpoint is the market that we serve. We focus largely on engineering, media and entertainment, medical, finance, and then of course the thrust of this show, which is people who are doing high performance computing and big data. How we serve them in terms of the products we have. First is we have a W series of products. Those products are people who are doing both rendering of graphics and then also compute. So an example there would be if somebody is, for example, doing a CAD application and they're designing, a strut or some part of an automobile, and they want to do an analysis of how that works and to make sure that some bending moment there is okay. So what they would do is they would have our product and they would use the various applications to design the product, and then also to use compute to determine if the product's actually going to meet its requirements. An advantage we have over our competition there is we can do that with one card. Our one card can go do rendering and compute, and it does it wonderfully. Now, looking at more focused on this show, we have our S series of products. S series of products are focused on both people who are doing VDI, which is a virtual desktop infrastructure, so taking things that are happening on desktops today and then moving them into the server room. And then, of course, compute, so pure compute, crunching big data sets to get numbers and answers for what their dreams are and everything else, using their imagination. What's new for us at the show? So there's two big things that we're seeing at the show. First is OpenCL. A couple things on the OpenCL front. One is there's a huge amount of momentum with OpenCL, and that's been seen here. You'll see a lot of signs around talking about we're an OpenCL partner. Got one supporter right here. Many of you know in June, Apple announced their Mac Pro. It has two AMD FirePro GPUs in the chassis. And what that's done for us, we had a lot of momentum leading into that announcement with a lot of ISV vendors. But since then, what's happened is we've had a whole pile of people calling us and saying, hey, we need to move to do this. We need to do OpenCL. So that's one big thing that's happened in terms of momentum. The other thing that's happened is a lot of great tools have come out that help developers in order to program with OpenCL. So we have CL Blast, which was announced on Monday from Professor Dongara. We have, there's a whole host of, we've got FFTs, CL Math, there's a whole host of them there that are available for people to use. In addition to that, there are tools to help developers. So there's CodeXL from AMD, which allows developers to program in OpenCL and OpenGL. You can step through your code, you can make sure that everything's okay. So both of those are really big things for OpenCL, and we definitely see it as the future of programming in compute. The other thing that's new at the show is the AMD FirePro S10000 12GB edition card. I'll show it to you right here. So we announced this card last Thursday. This is the same card which is in the SanAm supercomputer, which debuted at #2 on the Green 500. And what we've done with the product is we've doubled the frame buffer. One of the pieces of feedback we've had from customers in this space is that they need more frame buffer in order to do more work. So if there's more memory there, the advantage to that customer is, hey, I can break my workload up into bigger chunks and fewer of them and do my work. And effectively what that leads to is massive performance gains. Now, even though we're only doubling the size of the memory that's on the card, we're seeing from some of our customers up to 3 times the performance in terms of improvements, which is outstanding. For us, definitely we see that as a future, is try to get as much frame buffer as possible on these cards. Also for this card, in addition to being the first to market with 12 gigabytes of frame buffer, we also have, from a single precision standpoint, 5.91 teraflops, and for double precision, we have 1.48. Both of those are leading for the industry, so in a single product, you cannot find higher performance. With AMD FirePro, what we see as the future in terms of where this market is moving, there's 3 main things. So first is that the frame buffer we talked about. So delivering as much frame buffer as possible in an accelerator so that people can do, they can be more productive in terms of the chunks that they're sending to the GPU. The other part is pure performance. So I like to tell my team, our job is really to be the muscle for all these people here. They're the brains. So what we're trying to do is deliver as much muscle as possible so people can do as much performance with their applications as they need. And the key focus for us there is double precision performance. So that's what you're going to see from AMD FirePro, is keep trying to push the envelope in terms of the amount of double precision performance that we can deliver to the market. And then the final thing that we want to give the market is really a pathway. So today we're talking about accelerators that are entering the market, and there's a lot of buzz about that. The next step, though, is okay. How does the hardware look into the future? And that's still, of course, a roadmap that's unfolding. But when you're developing with OpenCL, you have a pathway to get there. You're not on an orphan API where it only works on one accelerator or anything like that. What happens with OpenCL is you can work with multiple GPUs, you can work with CPUs, you can work with FPGAs. It's really unlimited. And then as we go into the future where the hardware merges and you have CPUs, GPUs together, you have a pathway there with HSA for customers. So heterogeneous system architecture, which will allow people to transport their code, and effectively their code will work anywhere. So that's the big thing we're trying to deliver to the market. Now, another question would be, from a multiple GPU standpoint, what would be the best tool to use? Our opinion, of course, there is OpenCL. So OpenCL really doesn't care where the different devices are. You can hit multiple ones, you can hit a single one, and it's not a problem at all. If you want to learn more about AMD FirePro products, please visit our website at amd.com/FirePro. Thank you very much.